Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoటి Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshayamamritat Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Om Gunatito Aksharam Brahma Bhagavan Purushottamah Jano Janandidam Satyam Uchyate Bhavavandanat Om Bhagavate Shri Swami Narayanaya Namaha Om Shri Lakshmi Narayanaya Namaha Om Shri Nar Narayanaya Namaha Om Shri Vasudev Narayanaya Namaha Om Shri Krishna Narayanaya Namaha Om Shri Shiva Narayanaya Namaha Om Shri Badri Narayanaya Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Om Namo Narayanaya Om Namo Narayanaya Sri Krishnam Tvam Gatir Mama Sri Krishnam Sharanam Mama Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha Om Shri Hanumate Namaha Om Namo Hanumate Bhayabhanjanaya Sukham Kuru Hat Swaha. Welcome to Daily Satsang. Today is the 4th of December 2022. First of all, I would like to offer my prostrations, Dandavat Pranam, to all of the great saints, sages in the past, today, and yet to come, and to the Supreme Being, the Supreme Paramatma, who resides in the heart of all of us, in the heart of every being. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. As per the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan resides in the heart of all. Offer our prostrations and pranams to that same Lord present everywhere, same Tattva present everywhere. Along those lines, we are continuing our beautiful exploration by the grace of so many gurus of Shri VIVEKCHUDAMANI. To continue from yesterday, we have been talking about mantra sadhana specifically, and as an example, we are using the Namah Shivaya mantra and the Navaran mantra, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. And what is the depth behind this? As we stated before, this exposition can go on for the rest of our life. There is no end to this understanding about Devi Upasana, Shiva Upasana. It is very extensive subject to even study. But since we don't have that kind of time, and it's also not necessary to just keep studying. It is necessary to practice more and experience more. It is the anubhav that we are aiming towards. So from yesterday, we had talked about the significance of Ishta Devata, Ishta Mantra, meaning what? One Swarup, one main mantra that is your main sadhana, not disrespecting anybody or anything like that. You can speak other mantras, other stotra, everything. But this is called Ishta Bhakti. Ishta Nishta, Ishta Bhakti. This is a quick review from yesterday. Ishta Bhakti, Ishta Nishta. Ishta means Priya, that you are attracted to the most through your experience. That is called Ishta. So Ishta Devata, Ishta Bhakti, Ishta Nishta, the conviction. For example, somebody says that my Ishta Devata is Bhagwan Shankar. That means you love the form of Shiva, his charitra, his mantras, his all that. That is called Ishta Devata. In Sanatana Dharma, we have this idea more probably than other places. Then there is Mantra, Shastra, Stotra, Sadhana. All those words we covered yesterday. Right? So we can just quickly to remember that one mantra, the main mantra connects with the Ishta Devata. This main scripture, there's one scripture, one mantra, one swarup, they all connect within us. So this is called an interconnection between mantra, shastra, stotra, sadhak, sadhana, and murti and guru. It's all linked together. So for example, if someone says my Ishta Devata is Bhagwan Shankar, then one of the big scriptures can be Shiv Puran. It will be the Namah Shivaya mantra also, and in addition to that, there will be other connecting points. One may have a Satpurush or Guru who has realized Bhagwan Shankar, so that can be an enlightened sage. That doesn't mean that you cannot read other scriptures or do other things. Of course, obviously, but one can use the Bhagavad Gita or VIVEKCHUDAMANI or many other scriptures as a Tattvagnan foundation. One more thing to keep in mind regarding Shastra. Shastra is such that there are two basic divisions of scriptures. One is Tattvagnan and the other is Charitra. So for example, Bhagwan Shankar ka Charitra, that is in the Shiv Puran primarily. But it is in other places also. It is also in Srimad Bhagavatam, other places Charitra is there. But the Tattva Gnan of Bhagwan Shankar, where is that? Well, the Bhagavad Gita, we can say that is for everyone, so it is there. But there are specific scriptures of, for example, Vignan Bhairav, that is 114 meditation techniques, that is there. And there are many others. There are a whole list, I won't go through them right now, but that are specifically about Bhagwan Shankar. So this is like this in every tradition. Anyway, that was a quick review from yesterday. The point here is that when we are doing sadhana, sadhana is a doing. But when that sadhana is natural, there is no I that is doing. See, we said this before. I am worshipping Bhagwan Shankar. There is no I that is doing that anymore. It is the worship that is happening naturally through the body and the mind and through the senses. That is a hetukai bhakti. That means devotion for the sake of devotion. Love for the sake of love. So this kind of bhakti, these are just some things we talked about last few days. Now, we want to go further into Navaran Mantra. And there's three things I want to present today. That is Bhog, Yog, and Rog. What are these? What is the connection of these three? What are they? So first of all, the word Bhog, we want to understand this. What is Bhog? Bhog can be roughly translated as enjoyment. But we want to go a little bit further. Please remember that there cannot be any kind of enjoyment without desire. Ichha. In Sanskrit, the word is Ichha. There is no activity of life without desire. So, Navaran Mantra, it can fulfill your desires. Yes. So, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali, Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Aim, Rim, Klim, these beach mantras, based on the desires inside, the sankalpa inside, it will bring about the grace of Mahamaya, Mool Prakriti will bring about situations, circumstances, people, places, etc. that will give you the experience you are looking for, because that experience is giving you that particular type of enjoyment or situation you're looking for. This is the power of Navaran Mantra. In Shakti Upasana in general, Shakti Upasana is the one Upasana where Bhoga is possible. Some people might be surprised to hear that. I say, wait a minute, are you saying that we can get anything we want from the Shakti Upasana? Yes, absolutely. But you may not get it right away. It's not like a flip of a switch. It depends on the sadhana, your intention. As we mentioned before, the fruit is generated, phala. When you do sadhana sincerely, there is always a fruit generated, always. There is a universal law, that is an adhyatmic principle, spiritual law. So when you are doing sadhana, a fruit is going to be generated. What kind of fruit is generated? Fruit meaning what? The experience of life within the realm of the material world. Then there's also beyond the material world. That's also a fruit, if you want that. And then there's many things beyond that too. This is all possible through Navaran Mantra. Navaran Mantra is this 9-syllable Maha Mantra. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. Adbhut Mantra hai. Alaukik Mantra hai. And the complement is Namah Shivaya Mantra. So these two are enough for everything in life. Even if you don't know anything else, these two mantras are very useful. They are very helpful, and they will open the doorways into everything else that is yet to happen. Based on what is in your heart, based on your Prakriti. See, this is what's interesting. Each person has their own individualized desires. Isn't it so? For example, we have 5 or 6 people online right now. Okay, so each person has their own life, their own desires, their own life circumstances, etc. So we want certain experiences to occur. Maybe we want success in business, or we want some family problem to go away, or we want something new in the family to occur, or we want some better quality job, or we want, these are material things, right? Somebody wants a bigger home, somebody wants better friends. It's just, the list is endless. No problem. This is the beauty of Shiv and Shakti. Isme koi problem nahi. If you have desires for the world, what is the sadhana? Write them down first of all. Be specific. You can write general if you want, but write specifically what you are looking for. And then put that piece of paper in an envelope, put an omkar on there, and put some kumkum on there, put by the lamp, by the diva, and do the sadhana. Anybody can do this, and that is Namah Shivaya mantras. Do one round Namah Shivaya mantra, one round Om Aim Rim Klim Chamda Viche, like, and this can continue. And you can expand, as I mentioned already before, how to do the sadhana. Is it difficult to do? No. But start somewhere. We start somewhere and you continue. And then there's many other further sadhanas to be done. But the point is that by doing regular sadhana with the intention that you have, whatever the intention is, if the intention remains steady. Now this is the interesting part. Sometimes we put an intention that I want to see something happen. Let's say Sachin wants to, study the VIVEKCHUDAMANI. That's as an example, right? That I really want to thoroughly understand VIVEKCHUDAMANI. I have that intention, but then I jump into something else. No, you know what? I don't want that anymore. I want something else now. Now I want something else. Now, if I keep jumping like this, my intention is not clear. My sankalpa is not clear. What I'm wanting is not clear. And because it is not clear or it is not steady, then the fruit at the end is also mixed. So the generation of the fruit is occurring through the mantra sadhana, through our system of desires. Right? So if desire is there, that I want something particular, I want something very clear, you want that, you write it out, put it in front of the goddess, and do the sadhana. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. This mantra. There are many online versions of this too, but we can speak oneself, we can speak with the scale in the background, and maybe later on sometime we'll do some of the meditation online also to show how it is done. It's not that hard at all, very straightforward. The key is consistency. Now, the question is of Bhog. What is Bhog? Bhog is the experience through the mind and the senses of material objects that are giving the experience of enjoyment and pleasure. This is called Bhog. Now, this is a big subject also. There are many ways to understand Bhoga. When we say Bhog, for example, let's look at some examples that will become very clear. We go to let's say all of us went to an Indian vegetarian restaurant. Like in Edison, New Jersey, they have so many vegetarian restaurants also. So let's just assume we go to a vegetarian restaurant. There are 100 items on the menu. And there are restaurants like that, by the way. And you say, oh my God, I want this and I want this and I want this. Your mind is going off, you're hungry and you want to eat everything, right? So that wanting to eat all these different things, this is called expectation. There are three words here: expectation, consummation, and satiety in the wanting, liking, and learning cycle. I'll explain it all in just a moment. When you see the menu, and you have money with you, you're sitting on the table, and you said, oh, wow, I'm looking at the menu, I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and I like, but I don't like that one, I like and don't like, I like and don't like, right? Desire erupts. Ichha. So Ichha is first. Now, that Ichha has Shakti also. Believe it or not, it might sound like a crazy thing to say, but it's true. You can be in a restaurant and practice spirituality this way. If you know what you're doing. Like, my God, I have all these desires. This is desire. Look at the energy that is flowing inside Ichha. This is called Ichha Shakti. Ichha mein Shakti hai. Spirituality, Adhyatma and Bhagwan ka astitva sab jagah hai. Not only in temples. Mandir mein to hai hi. मंदिर करो, ब्यूटीफुल, घर में भी है, हृदय में भी है, सब जगह है. Why is that? Because where you are, there is the temple. Where you are, there is energy. Where you are, there is life. So if we're sitting in a restaurant and say, oh my God, I want all these things. इसमें क्या है? इसमें इच्छा का प्रादुर्भाव है, इच्छा का opening of desires. Desires open. And if desire did not open, there cannot be the experience of the material world. Desire is not the enemy as it is thought by so many people. People say, "Sab ichha ko maar dalo." Ichha ko kya maar doge? You cannot destroy desire. It will destroy you before you can destroy it. इच्छा को is not to destroy desire. इच्छा का परिवर्तन हो जाएगा. It will transform, परिवर्तन. So the Navaran mantra, if we're doing sadhana, for example, you're sitting at home or in a temple or wherever, and you do, let's say, 108 times or 360 times Navaran mantra. First, always start with Ganesh mantra, then you can do Namah Shivaya mantra, and then Navaran mantra. It's a good cycle to go. And then you continue with Navaran mantra. Let's say you do half an hour sadhana, and then you bow down to the Lord, and then you move on. And then you're going to a restaurant with some friends. The experience of desire, meaning what? Your mind will be much more open to have variety of desires open without blockage. Many times our desires don't even open properly. This might sound like a strange thing to say because most people don't talk about these things. This is all based on psychology and spirituality and based on the Vedas and based on it's all combined together. Sachin will try to put it in a combined way. There's massive research on what I'm talking about here. That the desires that we have, they are going to open properly, fully, in their entirety through Navaran mantra. Now you wonder, how? What do you mean? You mean the desire is going to expand? Yes. Because you have that desire already. Sachin says, I want to eat a pani puri or a bhel puri or this puri or that puri, right? Something is already there in the system inside the past memories. And the desire is still there. So the grace, the krupa of Bhagavati Parashakti, Jagadambika, is such that the desires you have, she knows that power, the Kundalini Shakti is there. So that Ichha, it opens up so that you can get to the state of consummation, that is Paripurna Santrup. It is called Paripurna Santrupta Bindu. That if Sachin says, I want to eat a pani puri, but let's say somehow the situation will come about where you will have 7 or 8 varieties, and then the ones you order, it will satisfy your desire to the highest level. Because when desire is present, it can be satisfied on a continuum. Abhi ye bahut interesting subject hai, and it is worth understanding. When desire comes up, you know what happens, right? If you just take the example of sitting in a restaurant, vegetarian restaurant, and you have all these items, and let's say Sachin orders pani puri with certain toppings and whatever it is, that I like. What the Navaran mantra does, it gives you the opportunity to experience what is called Utkrushta Bhoga. Bhog ke bhi categories hai. There's categories of Bhog, of the objects. Why does that happen? Somebody will say, isn't that ye koi maya ka bandhan hai isme? Ab mahamaya ke hi upasna hai, to it is not a bandhan actually, but what it is an experience that the mahamaya is giving you of what is in your heart at a much greater level than what you may have been able to do by yourself. So from that experience, there is satisfaction and then the opportunity to see through the experience. That is Jnana. Then that connects with VIVEKCHUDAMANI. Do you see this point? For example, Sachin says, I want to eat pani puri. तो इसमें क्या होता है? ऐसी कृपा होती है that you get to experience that thing at a very, very potent level. It happens through the mantra, through this mantra, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. It will give you exactly what you're looking for at some point. It will create the situation, circumstances from inside. It's almost like a magical thing, but वो एक दिव्य शक्ति है. And then it gives you that. And then what? Sachin eats 1 pani puri, 2 pani puri, 3. Now, as Sachin is eating, there is the liking. Oh, I like this. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. This is right. Isn't it so? This is our experience also. This is why people go to all these fancy restaurants and things like that, because of the liking. This is material. Isko bhautik sukh kehte hai. It is there. There's no point in denying it. It's there. We want to understand it before we can go further. And understanding is one thing, but that is the experience. Now, if a person is experiencing it, be aware of the experience completely. So that awareness of the experience in its entirety is the learning aspect after the experience. That is Mahasaraswati. That is the Saraswati Tattva that is giving wisdom. Oh, this experience is like this, and this experience has a beginning, has a certain peak, and then it has an end. It is a wave on the ocean. It is there for some time. I have experienced it, and the jnana comes that this experience, if I go further through my ego in trying to expand that, it will not expand my joy. It will be harmful to me. That jnana is Saraswati. The bhoga is Mahakali and Mahalakshmi. Because without the money and without certain power, you cannot buy anything in this world. You cannot do anything in this world. You cannot go from point A to point B unless you have some money in your pocket. You cannot put gas in your car unless you have some money. And that money is Shakti. That is when you're working somewhere, you get a paycheck. That is Lakshmi. That is Lakshmi Tattva. The Kalika Tattva is related to Bhog. So Klim Bij Mantra is the Bhog Mantra. But it's not just Bhog Mantra. It gives you that experience you're looking for, and from that experience, it gives you the wisdom that this experience is only this much, and if you go beyond, in fact, you will not be able to go beyond. You know, if I eat 7 or 8 or 10, 15 pani puri, I said, "Bahut ho gaya, I don't bring any more." You know, if you bring any more, I'm going to throw the plate away. Right? Even our natural system cannot handle that. But that limited experience it does give us. Why? Why is that limited experience even there? That limited experience is there simply because we are able to move through it and not be stuck in it. That is Vairagya. So Vairagya, from a Shakti Upasana point of view, is a different way to reach Vairagya. It is through enjoyment. One is going to experience. This is called Bhog. But the problem for most people, let's be clear on this point. The problem for most individuals in this sansar is that they are trapped in running after Bhog. That running after Bhog is Asuri Bhav, is Agnan, is harmful. It is going to degrade one. So the Navaran mantra, what does it do? That is the amazing thing. It allows an individual to gain certain amount of Bhog with Jnana, with the wisdom that Mahasaraswati Devi gives, that this thing has this much potentiality, availability and enjoyment, and there is a limit, and that's enough. And that is the learning aspect, that I am learning from the experience, that this experience is there, it is available within Prakriti, it is available in the material world, but that experience is limited, and the wisdom comes to keep it limited. But limited not with dissatisfaction, limited with satisfaction. That is the connection between Aim and Klim. Iska connection. Otherwise, someone says, okay, I have a lot of knowledge about what it's like to go to restaurants and eat pani puris and eat these different dishes and pav bhaji, and I'm just giving some examples. But the person has never put a pani puri in their mouth, never put a pav bhaji in their mouth, never put that, I don't know what, I don't even know all the names, they have those Bombay sandwiches and I don't know what they have all kinds of things. This is some things are coming to my mind, that's all. But let's say you have a person who has knowledge about that, no anubhav. Anubhavi nahi hai iska, so and then you have some other people who are just running after that, but they have no jnana about it. What's going on within them? They're just running after the experience. And that without any kind of balancing, without any kind of wisdom. So once bhog goes outside a certain range, it becomes rog. ये एक प्रकृति का नियम है. Once bhog of any kind, absolutely any kind, particularly food, certain amounts of liquid, certain amounts that the body, certain amount is necessary. But when you are pursuing the pleasures beyond a certain extent, it is going to cause brain disorder. It is going to damage the brain. It is going to damage the body. That is called rog, that is disease. So pleasure and enjoyment and liking and all within a range that is helpful for us, but at the same time is giving us maximum experience from minimum quantity. That maximum experience from minimum quantity is the combination of Aim, Reem, Klim. How tremendous this is. What a discovery this is of the rishis. Maximum experience from minimum quantity. Most people in Ajnan what are they doing? They're trying to, they want maximum quantity and they think that will provide maximum experience. Wrong. That is not true. That is never true. That is what causes disease and illness and damage. It is relatively minimum quantity, but the mind is so infused with natural energy through Aim, Reem, Klim sadhana that the quantity required will be minimum, will be less. That Sachin may say, I want to eat pani puris, I want to eat this pav bhaji. So he said, I order 5-6 dishes. But wait a minute, if I've done the sadhana, if I go to that vegetarian restaurant, just one dish if I order, when I start putting it up, it will give me so much enjoyment that eating 4 or 5 or 6 of those small puris and with a certain will be so deeply enjoyable. So you know what, I'm so happy inside. Because the happiness is already there before that enjoyment started. That is the secret. Because why the Navaran mantra opens up natural chemicals in the mind and in the brain. It opens up the natural ananda, the ecstasy. It opens up natural enjoyment already from within. Without even the object. Then if the object is there, it will just enhance the enjoyment that is already there through the Bhagavati, through that Ananda that is the Bhagavati, that is the Mahashakti. She is Ananda Swarupa. Ananda Swayam, Sakshat Ananda, dynamic Ananda. Then certain quantity of experience through the senses, sadhaka then experiences Maha Ananda in Prakriti. Without running after Prakriti, without getting crushed by the 3 gunas of Maya, without getting into disease states, wow, what more can anybody ask for? This is a matter of anubhav. ये एक अनुभव का विषय है. ये केवल बातें करने का विषय नहीं. It's not just somebody's talking. It's not like that. It is a matter of direct realization. Is this true? So, Aim, Om, Aim, Rim, Klim, Chamundai, Viche. अलौकिक मंत्र है, महामंत्र है. And from this, the development of life occurs further. See, if you're sitting with a family, family can sit together for this. Husband and wife can sit together. Sometimes a Pandit ji or some pujari is there to do the puja, or you can do yourself also. And when you do the puja using this mantra, keep the sankalpa clear. If you have guru, keep the guru very clear in the mind. And with that, you will see yourself what is the change. Sachin doesn't have to tell you. You will see yourself what happens from this. But again, the decisions are ours. When Shakti awakens, possibilities awaken, the decisions are ours. How far to go, what to do. That freedom we have. And from that, one begins to experience the world, material world with family and friends and good relationships. All the good things you want to see happen begin to happen. This is in this world we're talking about, this material life right here. And now from that, if the desire is such that I want to realize what is the Atma, I want to realize God, I want to get the higher Paravidya, the same mantra will be a booster rocket that will take you there. If Sachin says, no, I really, want to, my desire is that I want to have darshan of the Bhagavati. I want to have darshan of Bhagwan Shankar. I want to have darshan of Sri Krishna Bhagwan. I want to please my guru. I want to, whatever it is, right? It's kuch adhyatmik ichha. The same mantra will take you there also. It depends on you. It depends on you. And this is, so, Bhog, Yog and Rog. Now what is Yog? Yog is the interconnection between your individualized mental activity, mental, emotional, etc., that internal activity, and the vibration and the mantra itself. It is an intermix of the two. So the mantra, the more we speak the mantra, the entire mental structure, feelings and emotions and intellectual ability, it begins to gain its full potentiality. And that is called yoga because now there is yoga with the tattva itself. Atma tattvam om aim Atma tattvam shodhyami namasvaha. It is an interconnection, interlinking through the mantra, because the mantra is the tattva in a sound form with the tattva itself. Tattva meaning the Paramatma tattva, Atma tattva, with the divinity itself. And that is yoga. So it is bhog within certain stage, certain amount. But in that bhog there is yoga. भोग में योग और योग में भोग, इसमें से निकल जाता है सब रोग. Bhog, the disease has to go, and we cannot escape the material world, nor do we want to be crushed in the material world. We want to live above the material world, but we are living in the material world. Nobody can, as long as there's a body, there's living in the material world. There's going to be certain amount of bhog. Now, you notice one thing. In bhakti sampradayas, वो जो कहते हैं ना हम भोग लगाते हैं भगवान को, भोग लग, this is an expression. You make all the food and then you put it into a big thali or whatever, and you offer to Bhagwan, right? We offer it with different bhajans and different prayers and whatnot. Why? What is that? Iska kya science hai? And how does the word bhog relate to yoga in this? So we make 7 or 8 or 10 dishes or something, and then you offer with a great bhavna, with a great feeling of love. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, as per the Gita. Offer it to Bhagwan, and with love you're offering those substances, the food that has been made has been offered. So the bhakta has bhavana that Bhagwan has touched the food, has eaten the food. And so when we then eat the food, what do we call it? इसको क्या कहते हैं? Prasadam. ये भगवान का प्रसाद है. Isn't it so? When most people in Hindu tradition, they do the Satyanarayan Puja and all. Almost everybody does it. So वो जो that prasad that is there, bananas and shira and all those things that are there. इसको क्या कहते हैं? Do we say, oh, this is just like some wheat thing? We said ये भगवान का प्रसाद है, सत्यनारायण जी का प्रसाद है. We always use the word prasad. When we offer anything to Bhagwan, what is come back to us is called prasad, and it is to be distributed. Prasad is, somebody cannot say, well, I have gotten the prasad, I'm eating it myself, nobody take that. Nobody will do that in the Hindu religion, right? Why is that? Because prasad means it is to be distributed. It is to be given to all. Whoever is available, give it to all. You also take some, give to everybody else. That is called prasada. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. Bhagavad Gita. That prasada, it removes all the dukkha. So now that which could have been eaten just through bhog, like I want to eat this thing, I like this, I'm eating it. But when we offer to Bhagwan and when we ask God to partake and then take, isko kya, that substance reaches something called nirgun bhav. It becomes nirguna, it becomes divya, and it becomes kalyankari. It destroys the diseases inside the mind and the body, etc. That is the power of prasada. So the power, it is a certain divine power that is inside the prasada. After you do the mantras and puja and everything, and all the fruits and everything that are offered, and when we take them, they carry, the vibration is changed. That is the whole point, that when we are doing the puja, archana, when we are doing the mantra sadhana, the vibration of our body, the vibration of the food items, everything changes. And then the experiences of life also change. They change in the sense that one gets good quality experience from limited quantity. As I mentioned before, that is the key. Too much quantity is harmful. So the intelligence and the brain and all automatically reset so that the quantity is relative to what you need. But you get what you need, but it also gives you the best experience, and it doesn't harm you at all. It actually helps you to move ahead in your life in all areas in spiritual path. इसको ही कहते हैं भुक्ति और मुक्ति. ये दोनों मिलता है through ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुंडाय विच. इसका बहुत महिमा है. Tremendous महिमा. Tremendous power. Tremendous goodness and wealth and health and everything. Whatever you're wanting, it will at some point it will come to you. Maybe not completely even in this life. It might come in next life, but most you will see it in this life. If the sadhana is much more intense, the fruit is that much more available for you. It is like that. This is called bhog. Bhog is not one's enemy. It becomes harmful to us once our mind doesn't see its boundary. That seeing its boundary is Maha Saraswati. The enjoyment itself, the actual experience, that actual experience is through the mind and senses, through the three gunas of Maya. But the experience is a doorway into Gunatita state. Gunatitaha sa uchyate, Bhagavad Gita. It is a doorway in Shakti Upasana. It is not a place to be stuck in. It is a doorway. But the trouble is, in some people, historically it has happened, people have gotten stuck inside those experiences. If you get a high quality experience without jnana, if somebody runs after that through ego, then one is not contemplating on the nature of that experience. And without that contemplation, without that realization of its nature, then one will just create more vasanas. That's not the point. That is why the Navaran mantra is always necessary. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. But we still have free will. We still have our sense. If somebody says, I just want more and more and more and more, you can get some more. It's not like that. But then what? It will, if you take it too far, it is going to be troublesome. But if somebody really wants that, the situation will say, okay, go ahead and experiment with it. Go and try. That's the goddess. She will see. We are all like children of that great divine power. So so then at some point you do get those things, but one has to be very careful what one is asking for, what one is wanting. What we say, we have so many desires, but we also have the opportunity in the human body to choose our desires. What should be my desires that are going to take me forward, rather than just running in amok like an animal? Even animals are functioning within a certain range. Human beings don't even function at the animal level. They're just running in any direction. You see, so that is the problem. The point here is that Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche, it is going to clear up. Its ultimate aim is to move out of the three gunas of Maya into the Brahman. That is really its aim. Its destination is that. But it's going to take you through experiences so that you're not stuck in them anymore. There's two ways to get through the experiences of the material world. One way is to go through them. That is through bhoga and anubhav, the experiential way. Another way is through jnana, by seeing other people's experience and seeing, okay, I've seen that, I don't need to go through. And then there's natural vairagya. You don't need to go through that. But the only thing is that if there is desire for it, there's the wanting for it, then one has to go through. It's like that. Either you go through or one sees through. Either one sees through, that is jnana and vairagya. One goes through, that is bhoga and then vairagya. That is the difference. If somebody is a jnani to begin with, from childhood and from young age and all that, they have already seen through the nature of bhoga. They have seen through what its limitations are. So a person doesn't go into that. Somebody says, okay, I've seen through what it is like to just go to different restaurants. Okay, or through jnana, they may not have direct experience of that. They have some experience, but sometimes they say that I have seen through, the desire is not there. When desire is not there, you don't need to go through it. But when desire is there and you try to suppress the desire, then what happens? Then there's a war going on inside. And then that creates a lot of trouble. So this is where, for most human beings, they have desires. Find somebody who doesn't have desires. Almost everybody has all kinds of desires. So that's why Aim Rim Klim, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. This will allow you to seize the desires, fulfill them, and then get out of them also. That is the amazing, amazing truth of Navaran Mantra. So Bhog, Rog and Yog. Rog is also physical diseases, psychological diseases. Some of the biggest diseases in the world today are what? They're more psychological. Addiction problems. Drug and alcohol addiction, gambling addiction, sex addiction, pornography addiction, you just name it. Internet addiction, shopping addiction, food addiction, addiction, it just goes on. How much? Vesano, jisko vesan kehte hain. It just goes on and on and on and on. And people are sick and sick and sick. How many treatment centers? How much money is going into that? And the physical health problems also. See, this is where the Mahamrityunjay mantra comes into play. Bhagwan Shankar ka jo Mrityunjay Namah Shivaya mantra, healing power. Other mantras are Shiv Upasana it is going to heal. It has a lot of potential healing power. So Bhog and Rog and Yog, if we want the diseases, we want to obliterate them. They will get obliterated sequentially, but we have to be aware of how our own minds generates these diseases. because the disturbances and agitations inside the psychological framework, it is going to cause the damage to the physical body. Right? So to fix all the damage, these two mantras are very useful, very good. And in time, it will get better. It does get better in time. And that is the beauty of it. And then so many other things open up after that. So this is something I wanted to mention today with regards to the sadhana of Vivekchudamani. That the second word, khananam, that's what we're talking about right now. You know, this the first word was apto kitam, second word is khananam, means is to dig inside, is to go inside, but through the mantra. So when you're going inside, the mantra is going to open up desires, open up different possibilities and different avenues. It will open up so many things. One should see mindfully which way, what to do, where it will lead. That jnana comes from Mahasaraswati. Before, and in summary and in closing for today, we can say before taking any steps, take a step back and say, wait a minute. If I take this action, where will that go? Then where will that one go? It's a chain reaction. Sometimes you take one action, it creates a chain reaction. So be careful. Before taking any actions in any direction, see what you're getting yourself into. That is jnana. That is foresight. And be prepared to deal with whatever is going to come if you take that action. That is the way it goes. But that is why we have a bigger intellect to decide. If I take this path A, path B, path C, I take different paths, where it will lead. What kind of experience am I looking for? Am I just running blindly, or am I moving in the world with jnana? See the difference between running blindly in this mad world, in the madness of the world, as opposed to living as an enlightened being with open eyes and jnana. Kitna farak hai isme? Kitni mukti hai isme? That is a massive difference, and that difference is the key to living enlightenment. Okay, so we'll stop here for today, and we'll continue along these lines tomorrow at the same time at 8:30. We'll do the Shama Prarthana right now.